Are we going anywhere this week? Well, where's Dylan? Dylan's at school. Daddy's flying solo this week, doing his own camera talk. But are we going anywhere this week? Yes. We're going to Germany. That's right. Going back down Leica Lane. Now what are we going to do this week talking about Leica? You have one of these, an M body camera. You have one of these. It's an M mount lens. Now, of course, this is a modern digital camera, so therefore it's designed to read a 6-bit coding that's
What the fuck is that?
on the lens itself to tell the camera what lens is actually mounted. But I've got a number of vintage lenses and third-party lenses with M mounts that do not have the 6-bit coding. All right, doesn't have the little black and white dots on there to tell this what this is. So,
Holy shit.
so you lose all that EXIF data, you know, when you're taking photos, and then later when you're trying to determine what lens you use to take a certain photo, you can look that stuff up, right? It tells you it's a 50mm f2. It's a Summicron. But without that, you basically have the EXIF data that was showing from the last time you used the camera. So that's what we're going to look at today. How to match these things up, how to do it yourself, save a few bucks, because that's what modesty photography is all about, right? And of course we're talking Leica, so it's not a lot of cost saving going on there, but you can still save some money and do things yourself. So grab yourself something to eat or drink, get yourself comfortable. And let's get it on.
Here I am in Vietnam. Rain is always coming down.
This is Camera Talk with Dr. Scott. And normally Dylan, but without Dylan today because Dylan's at school. I'm doing this by myself in the middle of the day because I'm not at school today. So we're doing this flying solo. Anyhow, I'm Dr. Scott, and what I'm going to be talking about today on Camera Talk is about Leica's 6-bit coding that you can find on a number of lenses. Here's my 35mm 1.4 FLE, and let me get a little closer so you can see that. See the where is it? Right here, that 6-bit coding, right? Black dash, white dash, black dash. So it's white, black, 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 white, black. And what does that do? That tells my Leica camera what lens is mounted. So therefore, when I take photos, and later when I've got them up on the screen doing some editing or what have you, the EXIF data is captured, and it tells, it can tell me what lens and whatnot was on the camera at the time I took that photo. Can be handy, right? Well, I also have a number of vintage lenses, such as my Summicron version 3, 50mm f2, and this was from the, what was this one, 1972, I do believe. Obviously long before 6-bit coding was around, and therefore it has no black and white dashes. So how does my Leica body know what lens is being used on my M10 or my M9? Well, basically I have to go in the menu and I have to manually set it. Not such a big deal, but hey, wouldn't it be nice if the camera could just read it without me having to do anything,
Yes.
as it can with the modern, whether it's my 35 FLE or whether it's my Summilux 50 millimeter 1.4, which has a 6-bit coding, or any of the other modern ones. But as you know, with Camera Talk, I have a lot of vintage lenses and third-party lenses. Voigtlanders, Zeiss, TT Artisans, and whatnot, all with M mounts that I could also use 6-bit coding so that it can tell the camera body what lens is on there. Anyway, it's not that big of a deal, right? I mean, again, you can go in the menu and you can change things manually. Well, there are some companies who got wise and came up with some templates and whatnot that you can buy. What's the latest one I heard of? Akara, something like that. I'm probably saying the name wrong, but anyway, they're selling this plastic. It's like a U shape that hugs around the bottom, the bottom of the flange, and you line it up, with a little divot where the lens locks into the camera, and then, on the template itself, it has 6 pre-cut holes to which you color them in black. It doesn't, actually even need the white ones. It's just the black ones that tell the camera what's on there. But anyway, you could buy one of those for $24. Not too expensive, right? But yeah, I got better things to do with $24 than buy a little piece of plastic.
You just ate the most acid I've ever seen anybody eat in my life.
Just to color some dots in and away you go. So what I'm going to show you how to do is use a piece of paper to do the same thing. I did one, was this one here? Yeah. I used this one just as an experiment. What did I do? I think I did it with my Summicron version 1 from 1954. And, lined up where that little divot was for the lock on the camera body, and then put 6 dots over here, tracing over this lens, and then when I place this on my Summicron body, I just used my black Sharpie to dot where I needed to, and took this piece of paper back off and again made the lines a little thicker, a little longer, placed it on the body of the camera, and voila! I read the back and it showed me there was a Summicron F2.
Holy crap!
Imagine that, huh? And how much does this piece of paper cost me? Zippo. I mean, I could go out and buy the paper, so it could cost me something, but this was just something I grabbed from the office. It was junk paper anyway. And I guess the only other thing you could say it cost me was my time to cut out a circle and, again, write the little X and little dots on there. So if you want to call that a cost, it's a cost. But anyway, once you've done this, it's not like you're doing it over and over again unless you're constantly, putting lenses on and off and on and off and on and off. You may wear away the ink over time and have to redo it again. Whoop-de-doo.
Whoop-de-fucking-do!
It's not that hard to do. So that's what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how to do that. And again, besides that template that I just told you about, they also have adapters. Some other options too. They have adapters with built-in bit readers as well. Now these are for other L mount lenses and things like that, so nothing to do with what I'm talking about. But they also have things like flanges that you can buy that are already pre-printed with 6-bit coding on there that you can install on the bottom. See, on my my version 3 here, there's 5 screws that I could take this off and replace it with one of the other pre-printed ones, and then it's 6-bit coded. I could do that as well. But as I said, I've got better things to do with my money, like have a nice sushi lunch. than to spend money on stuff like that. So to me, a Sharpie little exercise is it's the next best thing. So anyway, that's what I'm going to show you exactly what I did. It's not rocket science, and even if you don't get it right the first time, oh well, try it again. Again, it's just ink. So you can, keep going until you get it right. But anyway, I guess the other, if you want to call it a downside of things, is that there's no 6-bit coding for everything, right? They have a list, and you can find them on the internet, of the actual 6-bit codings that they have available, and then you can find the next best thing. Like I have a Voigtlander 40 millimeter f1.2. Well, obviously they don't have 6-bit coding for that. Because Leica doesn't have one of those. So therefore, either I can do a 35 or a 50, and go from there, or just don't put coding on that one. But I have TT Artisan's 50 millimeter 0.95. Now that, hey, Leica's got one of those, right? The Noctilux. So I can 6-bit code that one, and I'm going to do that. I'll show you that in a second. But anyhow, that's pretty much all I can think of to tell you. So other than that, and besides the XF coding and everything, there's also some programmed, corrections that are in there too for vignetting and chromatic aberration.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Some CA, how's that? Chromatic aberrations, and so it can correct for that too with the right 6-bit coding on there. So anyhow, I think that was it. Now I'm just trying to remember everything that I've forgotten. So let's do it. I'm going to move over here, going to set up the table, and then we're going to get a bird's eye view down looking at what I'm going to be doing with this. So let's move off to the table. Okay, so basically what I've got here, a piece of paper. This is the cutout from the previous one that I'd made yesterday. A ruler, pair of scissors, my Sharpie, regular pen. I have my Summicron 50 millimeter version 3. I have a TT Artisans 50 millimeter 0.95, and I have a Elmerit 28 millimeter 2.8. And these are my 3 samples that I'm going to use, and my M10 that I'm going to use to obviously test it out on. Now, the first thing that I did in this regard was I obviously have to create my template here. So I used my ruler, and what I did was measure the diameter of the flange. And, according to my measurements, not the outer flange, but the actual inner part that sits inside the body. So as you can see here, again, not the outer part, but hold on, get the focus here. Yeah, not the outer part, but the inner, this inner part with the locking lip on here. So anyway, that's what I'm measuring. So I pick on the outside, just so that my paper will go all the way across. It comes out to, and I'm using millimeters because they're a little more detailed. So it came out to, what do we got here? 41, basically. 41 millimeters is what I'm going to be using as my diameter. So 41 millimeter, I shall start here, and I'll make a line across to 41, and right in the middle, and I'll make a cross this way, All right. And we'll make one this way. So I'm basically making a star, just so I have a better chance of being able to maintain a circular pattern when I'm cutting out my my template here. So voila. All right, so there's my circle. I am now going to attempt to cut this out. Since I've already cut into the center. All right, so now around the edges I shall go, trying to keep it as circular as possible. Remember doing this back in grade school, cutting out circles. For any of those who are maybe kindergarten teachers or whatnot, maybe that's a current practice you're still doing, but for most of it's probably been a while since we've cut out a circle in paper. So anyway, so we'll cut this out, and again trying to maintain as circular as possible. All right, so there's my cutout. There's my cheapy template, and I shall now just cut out this part since I don't need this any longer, nor that. All right, so this is my template, and this was again the 35 Summilux that I'm using, and all right, so there is I'm fitting over the edge. All right, so first thing I want to do is find my notch, which is here. So this is going to be the notch, so I line that notch up with my 3 other lenses I'm going to do here. And then the patterns are going to be here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So as you can see, I'm sneaking a look underneath so that it's just like tracing. So I get each one lined up appropriately. All right. So this is my do-it-yourself little template. And again, you probably can't really see much, but there's the notch. There's my 6 little dots that I'm going to use to line up on the lenses we have here. Now I'm going to start left to right and just do start off with my 28 millimeter 2.8, and this is a not virgin.
You must tie her down on a bed and spank her. Spank! You must spank her well, and after you have spanked her, you may deal with her as you like, and then spank me. And spank me? And me? And me? Yes, you must give us all a good spanking.
Version 3 from 1972, I do believe. All right, so I have my notch lined up. All right, and now I have already pre-written on my board over here the pattern, the actual 6-bit code already up on the board. So one of the things you need is a Sharpie or something similar, black ink. You don't need to worry about the white. If you look at as I already showed you the pattern on here, like for the Summilux, it's white, black, 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 white, black. Well, you don't need to worry about the white because it doesn't actually read the white anyway because it's silver color flange. So you just need black. Now my 28 millimeter here is going to go white, 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 black, black. So it's going to have only 2 black marks on it. And you always look from this angle, facing me, from left to right. So it'll be blank, 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 and then the last two will actually be the black marks. So on my left is the left end is where I'm going to place these two black marks. So one here and one here. All right. So now I remove my handy dandy little template, and as you can see now I have two black marks on the flange. Just to get a close up here, you can see the two marks here. So that should, in theory, satisfy the requirements of the 6-bit code reader on my M10. So let's mount this 28 millimeter on here. Let's turn on the camera. Voila. Can you see it? Yeah, there we go. 28.2.8, right? Yeah. See? It works. It works. So, what did that cost me? Hardly anything. You know, again, it was just some ink, and away we go. And we're back. All right. So how was that, right? Not too difficult. We figured out how to do our own 6-bit coding. Not that big of a deal, right? So anyway, that's enough about that. Do it yourself. Save a few bucks. And hey, let me know in the comments if you were successful coding your own lenses. So in the meantime, what else can we talk about? Hey, how about our little plug for our photo editing software that I use? And who do I use? I use Luminar. I use Luminar Neo. And Luminar Neo is our latest, greatest. You know, it's full of AI. Everybody knows what AI is, right? Artificial intelligence.
This mission is too important for me to allow you to jeopardize it.
And what does that mean? That just means it speeds up your workflow, right? So you can click on a lot of templates that can, you know, analyze your photo and choose, you know, what the program thinks would be the best choice of template for your particular photograph. And you can, of course, override anything. You can tweak anything. But they have specific functions which I think are pretty time-saving. Things like spot and dust removal. You know, if you're down at the beach taking some photos of some hot babes, and you get home and check out those hot babes, and maybe there's some, you know, birds in the background, a flock of seagulls. No, the other kind. But mixed in with those seagulls are some other spots that you're not sure what the heck are those. And it ends up a dirty sensor, right? I don't know whether you've noticed or not, but hey, if you shoot enough pictures, you get a dirty sensor, you know, especially if you're changing lenses outside and whatnot. So anyway, I mean, you could go over these spots with yourself and erase them, or Luminar has what they call spot dust removal. You click on that, it analyzes your photo, recognizes the difference between a spot and a seagull, and it removes the spot and leaves the seagull alone. How cool is that? How about power line removal? Right, same thing. You're taking some cool shots of that old building and you're thinking, wow, this would look nice mounted over my fireplace. But then you get home again and look at it and you realize, oh, wait, yeah, there's all these power lines everywhere. Kind of ruins the picture, right? Click on power line removal and it will analyze your photo, remove those power lines without you having to brush over and remove anything for you. Pretty cool. It has scene relighting. It has background removal, you know, sky replacement. Got all kinds of funky things anyway.
Funky coma data.
And again, there's many programs out there that you can buy, you know, Lightroom and Photoshop and Capture One and blah, blah, blah. But this is economical. It's one of the reasons why I like it too. You can buy it, two different things. You can get a subscription where you're paying yearly for it, or you could just buy it outright, like I do, because I don't like to pay over and over for things, because in the long run, you're going to end up paying more for it anyway. So I just buy the package. It's mine for life. You know, I've got Luminar 3, Luminar 4, AI, and Luminar Neo. So anyway, so I've got all of these that I can pick and choose as I wish. And anyway, if you want to get yourself a copy, you can click on the link in the description below and it'll give you a $10 discount. It'll take you to Skylum, you buy your own version of it, and it'll give you a 10 bucks off. Why not, hey? Save 10 bucks. And what does it do with that 10 bucks?
Talk it up, man.
Or what do they do with that 10 bucks? Well, they give it to me because I just told you about it, right? Made a little effort to pitch it to you. So anyway, it's worth it. And it's produced by a company called Skylum, who's in Ukraine. And you know what's going on there, right? So these guys are busy pumping out new updates and improving on the software while drones and bombs and missiles are flying around everywhere. So kudos to them. Good job, guys. Keep it going. Other than that, what else can I tell you? Well, how about you support our channel? And I don't mean financially, but subscribe. Did you hear that? Subscribe. Almost reminds myself of Captain Kirk overacting. Subscribe. That's right. And what else does YouTube like besides subscribers? They like the thumbs up, right? So you give us a thumbs up, we'll give you a little sample of Dylan's Girls, the Thumbs Up Girls. I don't remember the name of the band, but they basically go thumbs up, do 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 do, thumbs up. Aren't they cute? Other than that, who are we? Well, I'm Dr. Scott. The one who's not here, my other co-host, is Dylan.
I'm Batman.
I'm Spartacus!
Bond. James Bond.
And collectively, we're all Modesty Photography. We're here to talk about tips and tricks about photography, vintage lenses, vintage cameras, canted camera systems, camera stuff, photography stuff. You name it, we'll talk about it. If you want to recommend something, leave it in the comments below. If not, just watch these and, hey, learn something new or be entertained, or don't watch it all. It's your choice. Anyway, we do one of these every week. Well, we try to, anyway. Depends. Sometimes it works out every week. Sometimes it may be every other week. Anyhow, we try to do the best we can to get them out every Friday. And we think you should come back every week to check these out because you belong here. That's right. And where do you belong? Well, this was Camera Talk with Dr. Scott and normally Dylan. That's right, and Dylan. So, thank you for dropping by. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for coming back next week. And thank you for just being you. That's right. So, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to tell you. So remember, that's Friday Vietnam time, right? Right? So it could be the day before you, or the day after you, or the same day as you, just depending on where in the world you are and what funky time warp you're in. So, I think that's it now. All right, well, you have a nice day. You're free to go, and we'll see you when we see you. All right, bye-bye.
Here I am,